Hi, it's Patsy and I've come on today to do a tag. Now this tag is quite a long one. I think it's about 20, 21, 22 questions or something. It isn't actually numbered, but I know there's a good few, but I'm going to try and get through them as fast as I can. It's by a channel called Tarot is Magic. I believe this is quite a new channel. It's hashtag Let's Be Tarot Friends. And I sat and watched this yesterday and I thought, oh, I'll pop on today and do this. So the first two questions, I will put the questions in a link to the ladies' channel in my comments and pin it to my comments. If anybody wants to go and take a look at hers, then you can pop along, you'll know where to find her. So the first two questions I'm going to kind of mingle into one. It's what type of art are you looking for in a deck and what do you search for in a deck? So the kind of artwork I like is like the Forest of Enchantment, that kind of, with beautiful artwork. It's got that kind of foresty energy. And it's like the Green Witch and all them sort of decks. Anything what's got beautiful artwork and where they interact with each other and where you lay them out, they tell a story. And decks like Poppy Paintings and Everyday Enchantment, decks like that, where you're depicting everyday life and situations. That's what gets my intuitive abilities going. If I've got a deck that is just abstract or pips, I just get nothing. I just sit there looking at them like my brain's just frozen on me. So this is the kind of artwork that I enjoy looking at, the kind I'm looking for in a deck, and the ones that best suit me. I just love the artwork in these kind of decks. So yeah, so that is my answer to that one. So what deck are you most intrigued by right now? And it's this one, The Haunted House, Tower of the Haunted House by Sasha Graham. And I just took that out wrong. This deck is so clever in how it's done. I love how it interacts and how it tells a story. It's such an intuitive deck. It talks to you. It's one that I'm really enjoying at the minute. I got it a while ago, a long while ago actually. And when I first got it, I used it quite a lot, and then it got put away. And as usually happens with me, it kind of sat there. But just lately I've been going through some of my older decks and what have you. Pulled this one out and I've been loving it. And occasionally I'll do readings on, what do they call them, pop culture readings I suppose, on what's going on in the news and different things. And I just do it for a bit of fun for myself. It's not sort of something I do put on my channel or anything. It's just something that I do at home, just for a bit of practice on reading I suppose, and just kind of being nosy I suppose as well. And this deck is absolutely brilliant for that kind of reading. But yeah, so this is the one that I am intrigued by right now. I'm really enjoying working with that. It intrigues me, that storyline and how it reads for situations, everyday situations. It's excellent. So the next question is there a card in a deck you always check out first and why? No, I'm not one of these people who has to have a certain card that looks a certain way for me to want to buy the deck. So no, I don't. When I've got the deck, I do like to have a nice deck card, but it's not a make or break for me in the deck. So the next one is, what is your least favourite card in tarot and why? So I would say my favourite is probably, as I said, the Death card. I do love a good Death card. Also the Eight of Swords is another one, which I know it's quite strange, but that comes up for me a lot when I know that I need to kind of check in with myself. I suffer a lot from anxiety and depression. So when that card comes up in my readings a lot, then I know that I'm going through a phase where I'm spending too much time in my head and I really need to kind of work on getting myself back down to being grounded. So there were the two cards, the Death card and the Eight of Swords, which is probably my favourite. My least favourite, I would say, is probably the Hierophant, probably. That's probably my least favourite. Sometimes when that comes up, I'm kind of like, well, you know, how are you actually fitting into this reading sort of thing? But it depends on the actual image of the Hierophant itself as well, because that can change how I feel about it in a deck. And the next one, what do people close to you feel about tarot and you do in tarot? It's been such a part of my life for over 30 years now that it's part of who I am and what goes with me sort of thing. And everybody knows I do it. Nobody says anything. There's nobody else in my family that do it. My daughters have got interests and they have cards and what have you. And occasionally they'll pull some and what have you, but on a whole, nobody else in the family apart from my girls, because they grew up with it, and nobody says anything, not really. It's just part of who I am, so it just is never really mentioned. What do people, oh no, I've just done that one. How do you feel about the esoteric stuff in tarot? If people want to read using all the esoterics, I kind of take into consideration astrological signs of the cards and what have you, but the all the other things, that not really. I don't really pay much attention to that, never have done. My reading isn't probably as structured as it should be, in the respect of using the Tree of Life and all that kind of Kabbalah and all that sort of thing. So if people want to do that and read with that, and that's their style, it's great. You know, you can get some deep readings with that. It's just not my style. RWS, Thoth or Marseille, and why? RWS. I learned with the RWS, and that is the deck that talks to me. I've tried Marseille and I just sit it as it looking blank. Thoth I haven't even tried, but again, I just can't get anything with abstract kind of images. So RWS is the one that is my choice, and all the cards that I buy are RWS based, but even if there's slight differences. So yeah. And the next one, what are your thoughts on cardstock? Now, I like a thin cardstock. I like things like the Llewellyn. I know a lot of people don't, but they're so easy to shuffle and so small in the hand. And I've got quite a small hand, so I actually love this. I don't like big cards what I can't hold in my hand, because they're really hard to shuffle. I've had to pass on some decks because I just couldn't work with them because of how big they was. And I don't like the cardstock that sticks together and clumps together when you're trying to shuffle it. I've had a few decks like that again I've passed on. So my favourite cardstock would be Llewellyn, those Scarabeo, those smaller decks with a thinner cardstock. And they seem to hold up great for me. So yeah, I've got no complaints about them. I know people do have, but not for me. I love them. So thin, the Scarabeo, Llewellyn. That's my cardstock. Where are we now? Bags or boxes? Most of mine are in boxes. I've got a few in bags, but I have that many decks. If I tried to put every single one of them in a bag, I would have no idea what was in them and where they was. So I tend to keep them in the boxes. A few what I'm using at the time, or special ones that I grab a lot, are in bags, but on the whole, they're in boxes. How did you learn tarot or get into it? Mid 1990s, early 1990s, I should say. I lost my brother. I was looking for something to kind of help me get through it. I went into a shop in my local city and picked up a tarot card. I'd never seen them before, hadn't got a clue what they was. They just spoke to me on the shelf. I grabbed some, and at that time there was no real internet kind of community or anything like that at the time. So I went to the library and I got some books out of the library, and I sat and studied these big fat books and just made journals and notes on all the cards, and that took me a good couple of years to keep borrowing these books from the library. So that's how I learned. Best news in tarot world you've heard lately. I don't really take a lot of notice of what's going on in the tarot world, to be honest. Sometimes I'll hear things and I go, oh, but then it's gone. So no, I think the last bit of tarot news, what excited me when Julie Jeffrey was releasing her second deck, Tarot of the Witches, that one, and is that what it's called? I can't remember. Witch Sister, yeah, Witch Sister, and I was really excited about that because I do love her artwork. But that was the last time, so I don't know what's in the news and tarot, to be honest. How many decks are on your to-get list? I have 3 decks, I think, on my to-get list. I don't have an awful lot. I'm trying to kind of not buy so many, so there's 3, and I couldn't tell you what they are. I know one of them's called Once Upon a Time, but I'm waiting to look at that one because I don't know if that's going to be one that I want. I've only seen majors, so I don't know what the minors are like in that one, and I'm not going to buy it if the minors are pips. And another one I have on pre-order is the B Tarot, and there is another one but I forgot. So let's have a look, how many decks? Yeah, that's the one I've just done. If you could only keep 3 decks, which ones would you choose and why? So here we go, the first one. That one is kept in a bag, and it is Tarot of the Hidden Realms. This deck has been a favourite of mine since I got it, and it's one that I really enjoy working with. This is, I mean, that hyphen I love. This deck is so fey, and it's deep in that forest feel to it, that I love it. When I first got it, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it because a lot of the images are like these, just one person, but the expressions on their faces and the stances that these take makes it so easy to read. And when I want to work with Fae, this is the deck that I'll normally work with. And again, this is Julie Jeffrey's artwork, and it's stunning. So that is one. This wasn't easy just picking 3 because I have different decks for different things, but that one would scratch my itch with the Fae. So the second one I'm going to show you is this one, the Stretch Tarot. I've had this one a long time, bought this for a specific reason, and that was to do spreads on past lives, because I do enjoy to do past life readings, and also this one's excellent to do ancestor readings. So if I could only have 3 decks, I would have to have one to work with the Fae, one to work with past lives and ancestors. So that's this one. This is the one I've always used for those, and it's so intuitive and such a great deck. So yeah, that would be my number 2. So that is the Stretch Tarot. And the third one would be this one, the Slavic Legends Tarot, this one. And the reason why I chose this one, because this is the deck I use to connect with the ancestors on the Slavic side, but it's also very intuitive, gorgeous images, very RWS. So if I just needed a deck to do daily readings, just RWS or whatever, I could use this one, not a problem. So because it is so RWS, so it's not a, so this one would fit that, but it would also be able to still carry on using it to connect with that Slavic heritage that I am on one side. So yeah, this is a gorgeous deck. So there are the 3 decks that if I could only have 3, they would be the 3 that I would keep. That was hard for me because I have so many decks I love for different reasons, but that would keep my itches scratched. So let's have a look. How does knowing tarot influence your everyday? Don't think it does, not every day, not really. I suppose if I have issues going on or there's something going on around me, then at least I can pull some tarot to kind of get some insight and some help with that. So that helps greatly, and a lot of people can't do that. But I wouldn't say that it actually influences my everyday life. If you could turn back time, would you have learnt tarot in any other way? Yes, I would. That was not the easiest way through big books from the library and what have you to learn, but in that time, that's all there was. But now there's so many different ways that you could learn. You know, maybe now I would do it differently, but in the time, you know, that's all there was. So I probably would be more inclined to learn better if I was watching something on a screen rather than having to sit and read. But hey ho, at the time there wasn't, so this is how we did it. What are your thoughts on the 3 of Swords? Don't really have no thoughts. The 3 of Swords is just one of those cards in a deck of cards. It doesn't really mean nothing to me. I know that some people have an issue with as the lady who did this tag, she has an issue with the 3 of Swords when it's just the heart with the swords through it. But that doesn't cause me no issues. I'll just read it as I read it. In that deck I'm using, a lot of decks I use don't have that image, and it's intuitive. It's with the basis of what it, you know, to me it means, and then, you know, it doesn't always mean heartbreak and all that to me. You know, it can mean that you've been hurt by words in some decks, and there's something that's hurt you, and it's something that you're thinking about. That's, you know, that's kind of you hurt your feelings, hurt your, you know, it's just something you can't get out of your head. Could be words, could be actions of people, but yeah, I mean, that's about all I do think about the 3 of Swords. How many decks do you have? Don't know. Haven't counted them for so long. Gosh, I've got rid of so many, but I keep buying so many. I have shelves everywhere, bookcases everywhere of them. I must have about 200 oracles, tarots, Lenormand, Kippers, cards, all different kinds of different styles of decks, but there must be around 200, but I've not counted them, and I'm not going to because I'd freak out. If you could befriend one person on YouTube or in the tarot world, who would it be? I've already befriended some people. There's a handful of people that I'm friends with and I've met off YouTube as well. So that has been good. But the only person that I would really think, oh, you know, if I could be your friend, I'd like that, is Julie Jeffries, because I love her artwork. I love how she depicts things, and I'd love to watch her go through the process and talk to her about why she, you know, why she does that, because she just seems a nice lady. So yeah, probably Julie Jeffries, but apart from that, not really. What is your favourite part of the day to do tarot? Now this is the last one, if I've not missed any questions out, but I don't think I have. What is your favourite part of the day to do tarot? I always do them at the start of the day, my daily cards, and then the evening is usually when I I've often sit in my bed in the late evenings and just pull cards for the, you know, for whatever. And sometimes I'll do it through the day if I have reason to, but more often than not, the 2 times of the day that I will always have tarot cards in my hand is first thing in the morning and late evening. So that is the tag, Let's Be Tarot Friends, and that is by Tarot is Magic, and I think I answered all the questions. But the way it's written down, I'm not quite sure if I missed any, but I think I got them all. But I will tag this in the bottom of my comments. So if anybody wants to watch the lady and do the tag themselves, then it will be down there. So thank you for watching. and I hope you enjoyed getting a little bit more insight into what I like and what have you, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.